How's it going, Critter Family? I hope you all are doing well. Today we're looking at another video by Koko Garcia. This one is recommended to us from someone on the channel. Scared Dog Won't Walk, Immediate Breakthrough. So I don't know if this is the one that you were asking for. The one I was asked to review was How to Walk a Shelter Dog on Leash. I couldn't find any, so if you have a specific title for that, or if you have a specific link rather, please feel free to leave it in the comments below and I can review that specific video for you. This one I guess is not a shelter dog, but this is another one about scared dog won't walk, and so we're apparently teaching them to walk. So if you want to watch the full video before I go into talking, then here's your warning now. Go watch this video first. It is 7 minutes long. Scared Dog Won't Walk, Immediate Breakthrough by Koko Garcia. I'm going to be pausing and breaking things up and talking. I'm going to have this video muted because she has a bunch of like epic sounding music in the background that is just meant to, I don't know, amp up the video and make it more whatever. So that doesn't matter. I'm just going to be responding to how they are interacting with each other. So if you're ready for that, then let's get started. So at the very beginning, her dog is way too close to another dog. Both dogs are reactive and lunging. Put the dog on a slip lead. Dog freaks out, trying to get away. Death grip on the dog. So she changes the dog from having a regular flat buckle collar to a slip lead, high behind the head, as she, explains. So the dog is nervous, walking with mom, wants to stay with mom, is probably more nervous because they have a slip lead on, which is causing pain, frustration, fear. Because of the discomfort, they may not be able to breathe as well as they normally would. They're fighting it. And she's going to claim that, in the video she claims, or she explains that, as soon as the dog, it looks like it's bad. It looks bad. That's because it is. But it looks bad because when the dog fights it, the dog is going to fight it. But when the dog, she explains that when the dog fights it, that she moves into the dog. When the dog is really freaking out, she moves into the dog. It doesn't really matter that you move into the dog. You shouldn't have the slip lead on the dog in the first place because it's going to cause the dog to freak out more. I would have a harness on this dog. If I absolutely needed it, then I would have a nice wide martingale collar on this dog. And we wouldn't be training here in a high traffic area, by an area where there's children, these are baseball fields. Why do you choose this place to start walking on lead? I mean, how did the owner get the dog here in the first place? I don't think the owner has a problem walking the dog. It's probably the dog is pulling. It's probably that the dog is reactive. I would start in the owner's backyard, front yard, neighborhood. I'm not going to take the dog to, now this might be down the street from them. We're not going to worry about coming down the street to this area because this is clearly overstimulating for the dog. The dog is way over threshold. It doesn't matter what tool you use on the dog. So I would be doing this with just a regular flat buckle harness. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Dog's tail is completely tucked, freaked out, trying to go to mom for safety. Mom is just walking away. She says that she bumps the dog a little bit, means pops. The dog from jumping up there, trying to get away from her. She knows the dog wants nothing to do with her. She states that in the video. The dog is looking to mom, wearing sunglasses, can't make eye contact, but they're looking to mom for safety. And mom just stands there and walks away and allows this to happen. The dog is shutting down now. The dog is going to develop learned helplessness. There was a cut there. What was that cut? How did we move? How did you drag the dog over here? What happened? I don't care if you're trying to save time. When you're using techniques like this, every little bit counts. So she's probably holding eye contact with the dog. She's getting down on their level. I would probably kneel down because it would be less intimidating to the dog, possibly. She's going to be dragging the dog here. She says she bumps the dog, but she's actually pop. The dog doesn't want anything to do with her. She says the dog throws a tantrum. This dog is going to develop learned helplessness. It is terrified. It can't breathe. Not very well. And then there's another cut. And now we're walking over here. The dog is super stressed. This is learned helplessness. That no matter what I do, I cannot get away from my captor. So I just go along with it. And this is not progress. It's not immediate breakthrough. It is learned helplessness. So now they go walking around and around and around and around. This doesn't do anything for the dog. You can walk this dog for 15 miles. It doesn't do anything, because as soon as you take the slip lead off, when the dog is not so mentally and physically and emotionally, yes, emotionally, exhausted, the dog will go right back to whatever they're doing. And I'm assuming this dog here is reactive, and that's why and pulls. This isn't going to do anything. So now the owner's walking the dog. The owner's going to have to rely on this really tight slip lead the rest of the dog's life, when all they needed was a harness, really, or a wider flat buckle collar. Like a wider martingale, if you really wanted to. So she says that this is like the steering wheel of the dog. You don't need to steer and tow bar your dog around. This should be through communication, verbal communication. You should be able to get your dog focused on you. If your dog is not focused on you, you're working too fast. You're working in too distracting of an area. Dog is keeping an eye on her, and a dog comes out of the corner out of nowhere. The dog could become more reactive because of the slip lead putting pressure on their throat, and their trachea and their thyroid glands and the arteries and salivary glands and all that. The more discomfort, your dog is probably going to be more reactive. When trying to prevent something, we cause it to happen. However, she's going to have more control over the dog, even though this may have caused it. The slip lead will have more control over keeping the dog here, but that very well could have caused the dog can't breathe, can't swallow, choking. This very well could have caused the dog to do that. Now, this is the reason why we don't start here. If I know that the dog is reactive, I'm going to go in an area where I can control where the other dogs are, especially in the neighborhood. I don't want to just go to a random park and we don't know who's coming or when they're coming or whatnot. When I had my Shiba, when he was alive with us, bless my little boy, he was my demo dog because I used him because I knew that I could control the situation. I would bring him over. We would meet in a very neutral area. If it wasn't at the house, we would meet in a neutral park where there's, no other dogs and no other people and, other distractions and whatnot. If we had worked our way up to that point. And Adonis and I would stand at, say we have to stand at this fence right here, and this dog is able to sit here and look at their owner and be nice and calm and be able to take treats and look at Adonis or the other dog and look away on their own, and they're able to, you're able to call them and all that, they're under threshold. Then I would move Adonis a few feet forward to like maybe where this trash can is. If the dog is still able to do that, great. Then I move Adonis back and forth and move us around, and we might move a little bit closer. As soon as I see this dog here give their cutoff signals, or they start to get nervous, or they stop taking treats, I say, whoa, okay, we need to slow down. We need to go back. Adonis and I would create distance and go back a little bit. We would continue reinforcing this dog. Of course, I reinforced Adonis for everybody being calm. Then I would have this dog do the same thing. I would have them walk back and forth here. They might move up to a little bit closer, not too much, just a few feet forward. Have them move back and forth. When they're in motion, it's different than if they're just standing still. So that's what I would do in this scenario. And over time, I don't care. I don't expect the dogs to be friends. I just want them to be able to tolerate each other. And we would be able to, have them walking here, and Adonis and I might walk past them. That might take a few lessons. It just depends on the dog. I'm not going to expect this dog to be able to walk on leash immediately or have any kind of a breakthrough. Their breakthrough was through survival instinct because of learned helplessness. So this is not a win in my book by any means. I think it's just, you're just cheating. Dog is breathing very hard. There's something flapping around underneath their chin, There's something flapping around underneath their chin, which I don't like because that could easily smack the dog in the face. Oh, lovely. So that slip lead wasn't enough. So now we're going to put a prong collar on to get more control. And we're going to have somebody else with their dog walking by. So the dog shuts down again. God, look at the pressure on this poor dog. Physically, emotionally, psychologically. Lip lick. So she's going to cheat and use the owner to get the dog to move. This poor dog. Oh my gosh, look at that. So because this idiot here doesn't know how to get a scared dog to walk, she relies on pain compliance. The slip lead wasn't enough. So she's going to get more pain, which is a prong collar. And she's going to say, oh, it has all these points of pressure, blah, blah, blah. This poor dog. You never use any corrective tools like this on a fearful dog. The dog's chewing on the leash, trying to get away. She's going to cheat again and have the owner walk by so she can get the dog to walk. So it looks like, she's making more progress than she actually is. Ouch. 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 The dog is fighting because it is painful. And now they're not doing this to be cute. They're doing this because they are trying to get away from the pain. And they're showing you belly up in the most, in a very sad way, in the most pleasing way. She's pleading with her to stop hurting her. The dog is pleading with this woman to stop hurting them and just let them go. If this isn't learned helplessness, I don't know what is. Aside from the dog completely shutting down. And people are going to say, oh, what a cute, silly little dog. Their tail is tucked. They've been fighting. They've been trying to lay down. I've worked with a dog before where we were just trying to teach him to switch trade for a toy because he had resource guarding. He had been trained by very aggressive, very abusive trainers who used a shock collar on him. They used prong collars on him. They used choke chains on him. They helicoptered him, which means that they would take him and swing him over their back and land him on his back with the collar. And he was a shelter dog. And his name was Huevos. And he is no longer with us because the fallout of that type of training. I worked with him maybe twice before he just had, it didn't work out. And everybody's going to blame it, on positive reinforcement is supposed to save him. Oh, okay, shut up. When we were trying to trade for an item, he got so nervous and he went up to me, he was right here in front of me, and he felt so nervous he didn't know what to do. He felt trapped that he just went belly up. And I felt horrible that he felt so nervous that he was just like, okay, I give up. So I backed away from him. We worked on something else. We worked on trust building, and I showed the owners how to work on the trade because he was not nearly as nervous with them as he was with me. So rest in peace, little Huevos. Rest in peace, Adonis. And she's kneeling down. This dog is not doing this to be cute. She doesn't want you in her face. There's so much pressure being put on her that she's saying, please, please leave me alone. And she bends down and gets in her face. I'm sure talking to her in a cute tone. This is not cute. And now we're going to drag the dog away. Oh, no, maybe not. Not yet. I don't know what she's telling the owner. It doesn't really matter. Because this is learned helplessness. Playing dead. And she says, okay, that didn't work. Let me go to my owner. Oh, no, that didn't work again. I'm trying to escape. Ouch. This extreme, fearful, painful experience. And she can't get away, so she goes belly up again. This is learned helplessness. This submissive posture. She says, please stop hurting me. At least this dummy knows enough to not keep pressing her when she's laying down like this. Yeah, she presses a little bit. As the owner moves away, she tightened that leash a little bit. Now there was a cut. What happened with that cut? What happened? What did you do to the dog? Because now we're over here, fighting again, tail tucked, fighting, going down, submissive posture. She doesn't want you to smile at her. She's not smiling. She is so stressed, and you're popping, tugging, pulling. Submissive posture. This is learned helplessness. And you're acting like it's so cute. You're acting like this is progress. That is so sad that you don't even realize a dog that you're going to say, look, yay, this is progress. No, it's not. You're the captor. You're the slave driver. She's the slave. She has no other choice but to go with her captor. This is really sad. Just swinging the leash over her makes her give a lip lick. This is an extremely stressed out dog. And she acts like this is progress. This is not progress. This is not impressive. This is not an immediate breakthrough. This is learned helplessness. Still fighting on a prong collar. And then we have a break. And then we end up over here. And she's fighting over here again. And she's laying down again. How long was this lesson? Tight little tugs, little pops. Shake off, relieving stress. And she says, okay, I'm a captive now. I'm going with you. Poor little thing. And now we're just going to walk and walk and walk and walk. This is not impressive. This is just really sad. I mean, if you think that this is a great breakthrough, then go ahead and follow her, Koko Garcia. This is just nonsense. But people tend to think that I'm too soft. Okay. So anyway, hope you learned something from this. Hope you got something from this video. Let me know what you think. If you have any other suggestions, go say howdy to your little critters. Say howdy do for me. Give them some kind of love and they appreciate. Until next time, practice peace, patience, and positivity.